Welcome to episode number 10 of Carl Knows People podcast. Today's going to be a little different. I mean, maybe not much different, but I've known my guest for, my whole life. So the background and stuff, we'll probably just discuss memories more than finding out about his because he's my brother. And we kind of know each other's background, but today's guest is Chad Duvall. How you doing, Chad?
Good. How you doing, man?
Not bad. Got together again. We did this about 10 years ago.
Is it that long ago?
Yeah.
Holy crap. Okay.
I saw my memories when I did Nate's, and that same day was Josh 10 years ago on my memories on Facebook.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, I thought it was like 5 or 6, but apparently not.
And 10 plays and you have fun.
Yeah. What's also cool right now is I'm already uncomfortable. So hold on a second. Off to a good start.
That's sweet.
So I usually say, do you remember when we first met?
Mommy and Daddy brought you home.
Yeah.
Don't remember, but
yeah. So like I said, this one's gonna be a little different than the rest of them. We grew up in Othello. Well, when I was born, we lived in Twisp. Then we moved to Moses Lake briefly. Then in town Othello, then out into the trailer court in Othello Manor, 815 South Taylor Road, box 16.
Hell yeah.
99115. In case anybody wants to send the new guy. Oh, no, 99344.
Yeah.
Wait, is that it? 9934? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. How we remember that, I don't know.
I also remember our phone numbers.
488-5406.
And do you remember the second one? After they got the clock shop.
There was second 3107, I think, wasn't it? 3704. Okay.
I don't remember. I think I remember the Snoqualmie 2694 Snoqualmie phone number 888-2694.
Sounds right. Yeah.
I don't remember the address, but
because that was really similar to JJ. To his phone number in Othello was a work. It basically those numbers switched around a little bit, so we thought that was kind of cool that we almost had the same phone number.
Oh yeah.
When I moved over there.
So we know our childhoods. It was kind of fun. We lived in a cool, at the time it was a nice little neighborhood, little trailer court out in the country. Had a few friends that were out there that we could, but it was mostly me and you for the most part, just riding bikes most of the day during the summers and winters. We'd be out playing football in the snow and doing that kind of stuff. We kind of palled around together. Glenn was a little bit he's 4 years older than me, 2 years older than you. He would do football with us and ride bikes, but he kind of had his own friends, it seemed like.
Yeah, he had his own thing going on.
Yeah. So, I mean, we had our own friends too, but we seemed to be, I don't know, maybe I just remember summers a little bit later when Glenn had jobs and stuff and was working or whatever. But we all did things together. We had scouts together, tell scout stories every once in a while about how I was real dedicated to it. You may have been just a little bit more than me. I don't know.
Once you joined there, I think we collaborated to play basketball, and that's that.
That was it.
All this
get
bullshit
through the meeting so we can go out to the gym.
Yeah.
And Glenn took it way more serious, but he had 2 classmates or a couple guys around the same age that were pretty dedicated, so they all going for their Eagle Scout.
Yeah.
I think they probably kind of held each other, not really accountable maybe, but kept each other's interest there, I would think.
Yeah, plus you had other friends from other troops as well that are in his class and all that kind of had a little maybe a little more competition.
Yeah, I don't remember many of my people in my class being in scouts. Maybe the Mormon troops.
Maybe. I don't remember anybody my age being in scouts. None of my friends were.
Yeah, Alan wasn't really your friend, but was he your age?
I think he was my age, but yeah, he was.
Alan Brashears. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we knew him from church or something like that.
Maybe. Bruce. What was Alan? What was Alan and Keith's cousin?
Leroy
yeah.
Jones. Yeah.
Mr. McLean was our scoutmaster for the whole time. I don't remember any of my Cub Scout leaders at all.
Yeah. That was I was too young to remember that.
Yeah. We both played soccer. during before like before school sports? You played soccer. How many years did you play? Remember? Did we start the same year?
I think we started the same year, so I think we probably did at least 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, to me it
I
seems like
think I was
5 or 6, but there's no way it was that
yeah,
long.
I think I was in it through 6th grade, and then once 7th grade started, I started doing the other school sports.
But you played soccer in freshman year in high
Yes.
school. Okay,
Yeah.
but nothing in mountain, nothing after we moved.
And no, I don't know why either, because it seemed to be the one sport I was good at.
Yeah,
So we'll go throw that aside, and didn't
yeah,
play football over. I didn't play football over in Mount Si either. So I just pretty much did wrestling. I didn't do track, didn't do
yeah.
anything except for just wrestling.
I tried what I was football, basketball, track. Those are the three that I tried when I was in high school. Only freshman year for basketball, sophomore year for football, then track I think was junior year. I don't like to spread myself too thin. We'll do one a year.
It's be a standout in all of them.
Yeah, yeah. So how did you view knowing you as an adult? You seem to not really like anywhere you've ever lived. How did you feel? Is that something that you just look back on feeling that way, or is that how you felt as you're going through it? Like when you were a kid in Othello, how did you feel? Or did you just not know any different?
Didn't know any different. I think that's just a small town. It just is what it is. That's all we knew. You know, when it came time for us to move, I thought that was the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, wasn't excited about having to meet new friends
Yeah,
and do all in a new school and all that kind of stuff. So that was a
little
whole
yeah, a little
little
harder on you
intimidating.
because you were already in high school, so
Yeah.
you had to switch over. Um, I at least had 1 year of middle school to pad me before I went into high school.
Yeah.
That and Jim Aaron protecting me before making sure everything was okay. Um,
Yeah, yeah, you didn't have to worry about me. I remember when my freshman year, when I always thought that Glenn being the junior at the time, that I was his friends and he were going to come down and can me every day and all that stuff. So I was trying to stay out of his way the whole time, and that probably wasn't the case at all.
no, all 5 foot of Glenn.
Yeah,
Well, maybe a little bigger by then, but
not a whole lot.
yeah, I don't know when he finally put on the extra foot after he started high school, but he grew a little bit.
Yeah, he had all the jock friends and all that kind of stuff. So I figured they would come in and help him embarrass me. So I tried to
Yeah.
stay out of his way.
So I think we'll probably revisit some of the stories, obviously, that we talked about the first time. Fellow, just kind of, I mean, I just viewed it as mainly, well, I guess winters were kind of cool too, because we used to do the football thing, but summers were swimming in the canals or the pool, and mom would feel like taking us down there. Canals were probably the funnest though, once we discovered that.
Yeah, just kind of the first little sense of freedom, where we didn't have to rely on somebody else. If we weren't going to ride our bikes into town, then we can at least ride them down there and
Yeah, or walk.
jump
It
in.
wasn't that far
Yeah.
with Jim. We can tell those stories if we want. We don't have to. He was a treat.
you,
Um,
you you brought a little bit on yourself, but
well, what are you gonna do? Sixth grader, fifth grader, however I was when that was happening. I like the pool though too. Um, I
mainly
get
the high dive.
yeah, the high dive was fun. Well, the low dive was fun too, and we did our little 45s or whatever you used to call them. I don't even know why that was called a 45, but did we make it up?
Maybe. Doesn't sound
Because we put our legs in the form of a 4, or we're supposed to.
No, I think that's everybody else did. We did ours is like a modified cannonball. Pretty much all we did.
Cannonball without grabbing your knees, just covering your face or whatever when you go in.
Yeah. We figured out how to make a big splash and how to spend all day just jumping off the thing. Matter of fact, I went to a party a couple weekends ago at a friend's house, and she had a pool, and then I realized they had a diving board, so it was all on. Then it was just over and over again going in that thing, just doing the same thing.
I don't think I've touched a diving board smartly since I was a kid. I'd be one of those videos on America's Funniest Home Videos of the son of a bitch breaks in half.
That's all you'd need. That's all you'd need.
Why did you just got really bright all of a sudden?
So I did from my awesome bald head and turned this thing down a little bit.
That looks pretty good.
A little sun glare going on.
I always get a little distracted because it shows you like pausing and stalling every once in a while, but it's like buffering. So when the final product comes out, it doesn't. It looks fine
Okay.
because like up on top it says uploading 98%, 99%. So it's like it like fixes stuff as it's going on. So
Okay.
anyway, I need to stop trying to look at you and keep it. I keep wanting to say that you're paused, but you're not. So you had a. Do you consider your like friend group a little closer on the west side than the east side?
Yeah, on the west side for sure. I think that's kind of like those years when you're in high school and you kind of find your friends and they seem to be a little more solid. There's only a few guys from Othello that I still stay in contact with, and it's mostly through Facebook. But
Did you? I can't remember those friends. Were they? Did you have like individual friends that you hung out with separately in Othello, or was it more of a group? You and JJ were kind of a separate thing. I can't remember. Jason, was he
yeah,
with JJ, or is that kind of just you and him?
it was in like junior high. It was Jason and JJ, and I think Kevin. And then more in freshman, it's pretty much JJ and I were kind of always together, and Kevin was here and there. But it's kind of like me, Kevin, and JJ were kind of like that was kind of our group.
Yeah, I didn't. For some reason, I didn't think Jay or Kevin was a part of you and JJ for some reason.
Yeah, it wasn't as much as JJ and I, but Kevin was always there at quite a bit.
I remember you and JJ were just like
Yeah.
constantly. Come later to find out that the underclassmen, like my friends when they got into high school, people called him the rock and roll troll because he's huge, real tall. So,
And loved Kiss and pretty
yeah.
much anything we introduced him to, he was all about it.
Were you the guy that introduced him to? Were you the one that introduced him to music? He was an AC/DC guy or something.
I don't remember what he was listening to when we met, but I definitely had to introduce him to Kiss.
Yeah, you introduced all your friends to
Yeah,
Kiss.
big shocker.
Yeah, and they took to it. Mine didn't. mine had their own opinions already.
So I didn't even know I was that big of a Kiss that guy until Facebook came around, and I was kind of reacquainting myself with a bunch of Othello people, and
Yeah,
a lot of the first questions, you still listen to Kiss? I'm like,
I know.
perfect. Yes,
I remember when I became friends with Randy, a guy I went to school with Randy, and on Facebook, and he obviously was looking through my profile, and he goes, "I don't see anything about Kiss on there." It was like, yeah, maybe things changed a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
And I just got reacquainted again with Rod here in the last few months, and he was like, "Yeah, you and Chad really like Kiss." So we were known as Kiss. Apparently,
Yeah,
Kiss
that
balls.
was our badge of honor. That was our rebellion back then, is listening to Kiss, and that was it.
Yeah, take one little peek in our bedroom window, and you'll find out why. Because there's another thing. We shared a bedroom our whole lives
pretty much
until we moved to even a little bit after the West Side, until Glenn moved out completely.
college. Yeah,
Yeah, because Glenn, we moved in 1988 over to Snoqualmie, and that was Glenn's senior year, so he stayed behind. Glenn is our oldest brother. He stayed behind so he could finish out school there. He lived with a friend and his family, and he would come over. I just remember being so excited, and him and his friends would come over for concerts. We'd get to go with them, and mom and dad wouldn't have to take us. I don't know if were you 16 when they were letting me and you just go in and go? Oh, I don't think they ever not let us did he do anything.
right. Yeah, they pretty much got to do whatever we wanted to.
Right when you got turned 16, they didn't have to take us, so they didn't have any of those rules.
Just get the hell out.
Probably stems from the they got to see two concerts when they went. The Monsters of Rock was their first concert, and they gotta go in during Van Halen.
Did mom go into it, or just dad?
Dad said they both did.
Really? Okay.
I just remember Dad, probably just because Dad told the stories. At first, I thought it was only him, but it's he's from what he said, it was both of them. Then he got to go in during Rat.
That was our second show.
Was that our second show?
I think so.
They just let him in. I don't think the security guard let him in that one. Well, they may have, but just into the corridor, not the actual thing. And
remember him talking about the drum solo and all that stuff. He showed up right during that.
Sounds pretty talented. That's all they could say about it. He didn't know anything about that music. Yeah, so that first concert we went to, that was yours too, right? It wasn't just
Yep.
mine. Yeah.
Well, yeah, first actual concert. I mean, got to see a group called Leonard the Dog at
Yeah.
a high school twice before I went to that show. But actually,
Yeah.
no, I saw Leonard the Dog first time when I was living over there. And I came back and saw him because I was such a big fan.
Yeah, because
When I came back to when I came back to Othello and did an outdoor show.
I think I was at that one too. Because I
Are
saw
you?
him. I saw him once,
Okay.
and I was real cool. I had a Mariners corduroy hat on, and I was using the corduroys as like the strings on a guitar, playing fucking air guitar with my hat. I was playing hat guitar. I go, that's neat. We show people in Othello what we learned over on the west side.
We are from the big city. That's how we do it.
God, that's so dumb. It's funny because we don't. Well, we do have videos from when we lived over there. Do we?
They're probably
Yeah,
long gone by now, but yeah, we used
probably
to.
in the trailer. But Nate, he always brings up these gems that he just has kept over all these years, and he'll hit us with every once in a while, every year or so, he'll discover something new that we haven't recorded. Now they're embarrassing to watch a 17-year-old you try to think they're cool.
Sounds about right.
It's so bad, and it'd probably even be worse the 12-year-old me.
Yeah,
Way
no one
worse.
needs to see that.
Nope.
Especially when mom and dad turned us loose at grandma's house with the video recorder. And
Yeah,
they came over and found the place over to Snoqualmie. And 2 weeks of us just grandma didn't care. Just stay out of my hair. Here's the camera. Here's your little place you're staying.
I would like to find the tape of us moving because we had that recorded.
Yeah, that's
It's probably over in the trailer, which is over
Yeah.
here now. And I don't know where. It's in Mansfield somewhere, for the last I heard.
I doubt there's anything. I think it's probably been gone through so many times and was sitting over there.
Yeah,
But
or just
who knows?
rats have eaten it away.
Yeah, that could be.
Did you see that video that I sent you and Glenn of that old trailer from 1970? I sent it on our group.
Yeah.
It was like a cross between ours and Grandma and Grandpa's. It was like just that
Complete.
era, the exact same layouts.
Yeah, complete with the shag carpet and everything.
Yeah, we had the same green carpet. They didn't have that built-in China hutch or whatever that we had on ours in the dining room.
That was
Grandma
fancy,
had
though.
theirs too. Yeah, we had the
We were with the deluxe model
yeah, we didn't have the base model shit.
because we were in row A, Carl.
That's right. Yeah, keep that riffraff and fucking row C.
Fucking living large in the manor.
Yeah, you don't go back, but you don't go back to E or F row or wherever that was.
Ooh,
That's scary. Yeah, that's the scary Mexican row, or the probably sounds bad to say that now, but it was the Mexicans lived back there, and the really white trash white guys.
Yeah.
That you're afraid to look at the wrong way, which probably wasn't the case, but we just thought that.
Yeah, somebody told us that once and we believed it.
Yeah, someone said, "Don't go back to those rows."
Yeah, so we just go back to C and just do our laps that way.
Go to C or go down to the park and wait for Dad's whistle when it's dinner time.
Yeah, that thing down.
Oh, it was you can hear it definitely from wherever. It was funny because I was talking to Renee. She's just a few years younger than me, and her dad was the same way. It was time to come in. He'd just stand outside and whistle, and they knew his whistle, and it's time to come home.
Yep, the outdoor street lights went on, and we pretty much start making our way back.
Yeah, maybe try to sweet talk him if the ice cream truck went by, and run and hide when the
Mosquito truck went
by. What did you say? We thought they were going to steal our candy? Is that what
I thought we were hiding because they thought, that they were going to steal our candy. So we would hid in our camp trailer and whatever else to stay away from. It's probably exactly where you want to be when that chemical's out.
Do you remember the time when we went on the highway or the road out in front of the trailer park that went like by the Krebses and stuff like that? And we ran out in the middle of the road when the car was coming and act like we were shooting them. Like then we ran and he went into the trailer court looking for us, like he was pissed, or he was trying to find our parents or wherever we ended up.
No, I don't remember that particular thing, but remember we used to always screw with cars going by. If we weren't trying to sell them lemonade, we got it both ways.
Popcorn or lemonade, it's like Sour Patch Kids, sweet one moment and sour the next, or start out sour.
Never know what you're going to get when you go by the manor. Old trailer court.
Then I just had something in my head. Oh, then winter times we didn't have hills, so we had to sled into a hill or into a hole if we were doing any kind of sledding. The gravel pit across the highway.
Unless we
Oh,
had to go over, unless we had to go over like Katie's house or Krebs' house. I think they had a slight hill that they can let
yeah,
us use.
they had a little hill there, but not quite like the. You can get going on the gravel pit hill.
Yeah,
It's pretty good one.
yeah.
Just
And just
climbing
hope,
back up's a good time.
and just hope you
Of
don't hit
course,
the
then
boulders
it
on the
didn't happen.
bottom.
You avoid those.
Try
Oh,
to.
I was gonna bring up. So I bring it up to Renee every once in a while. Whenever we see a tumbleweed, talk about our tumbleweed wars that we'd have
We were killing it.
until they put the fence up. Then they stopped the fence in front of the trailer court. Then they stopped coming into the yard.
I don't remember
Did
a fence going up there.
the white picket, like a white picket fence that went up front? Maybe that happened after we left.
Oh, they fancied up the place even after we left. Apparently,
Yeah. We were friends with the kids of the manager. Well, the first manager was Hazel.
Hazel. Yeah,
She was fun.
yeah. She like female Furley.
Yeah, female Furley and Wicked Witch. She's real nice to everybody.
I don't remember her being mean. I just remember her dressing like Mr. Furley or Roper. Maybe either one of them.
That was Furley. I thought maybe I don't know. I always thought of her as mean. Maybe it's just I don't know. But
Yeah, we
I
were
can't
young
remember
too.
when she. I don't know if she died. Then they changed managers or because she lived right in that center trailer
Yeah,
right
the
by
huge
the
yard and mailboxes
yeah.
and all that. Yeah.
Then it went on. Then we made friends with Tanya and Brandy. Their dad started managing the place.
Mm-hmm.
But we had some fun. We had some fun friends to hang around with there.
Yeah, there's always
When we
something
were
to do,
kids.
people to play with and hang around with and all that. We're still too young to do much else at that point.
Yeah. But when we moved to Snoqualmie, then we were really out in the country, not in a neighborhood, really.
No.
Like a quarter mile in between houses, probably.
Yeah. Maybe
Maybe
quarter,
not
eighth of a
quite that
mile.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
But not a neighborhood feel at all. Just acre of land probably for each of them.
You're right.
Um,
Simple with horses and that.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
don't remember. Well, Jim moved in, and you had Ryan moved in there for a little while into your high school.
He was there all the way through high school. He was in that spot.
So Lincoln must have moved in after Ryan left then, because Lincoln Reeves was in that same house, part of
No,
my high school.
No, he was in the house right next to him. Ryan was in the duplex. And
Yeah, Lincoln was in the actual house.
so I think Lincoln and Ryan were living there at the same time at some point.
Okay.
I was
saying, yeah, that's right. Ryan was in the duplex.
Yeah.
We'd pick him up. Well, once you started driving, pick him up to school for school every day. And
Mm-hmm.
did you guys work at McDonald's? Just have the same schedule, or how did
Yeah, we until he got his own car. Yeah, that was the deal we gave the managers there is where I was the only one that had a car, so we had to have the same schedule. So since I was his ride, he immediately screwed me the very first day of work and put me up front in front of the customers, and he went back in the grill, so we didn't have to face them.
Nice.
It's just immediate. I didn't even know what they meant by who wants to be on grill and who wants to be window, and I was still thinking about what that question meant. And he goes, "I want grill." Right.
Ryan said that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And immediately just threw me under the bus.
I didn't understand when I started working there. I don't know. I was there 2 weeks maybe. When they said window, I thought they meant drive through.
Right. That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. No, but I can make some fries. That's for sure.
Didn't know to stop making fries, but you know what I make them.
You don't tell me. We got to fill up everything because we got to rush. So I'm making them son of a bitches. I had every fry size full, the whole bin full. I look out, lobby's empty. I had to throw all of them away. You're really impressed with me. I don't know how long I worked there. I don't know if I can't remember if I worked there first or if I worked at the golf course first. I can't remember.
I don't remember the order of that either, but yeah, you didn't last too long at McDonald's. It wasn't your thing.
No, I didn't have any of my. That's what's funny when we're talking about your friend group. You're still friends with everybody you worked at or the people you worked at McDonald's. You just like were friends in school and just kept it, which is cool. I kind of wish I had that. I don't really have that. My friends in school, especially high school, were all kind of compartmentalized. Like Ryan and me were friends, but we didn't hang out. He didn't hang out with like Nate and I. The Nate and Adam sometimes would hang out, but mostly Adam and I would be separate because I'd hang out with him with like the work people.
Yeah.
But I'm still friends with Adam and Nate and Ryan. Nate and I, well, we have a group text with our band.
Okay.
Still, that we still every day we're texting each other. the Derek version of the band, not the Josh version, but the Derek version of it.
Yeah.
Not that we have anything against him being in it. It's just not what it is.
All right.
Uh, so after we move over, do we want to get into the first concert story again?
Our very first concert story. Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
might as
Why
well.
not?
I don't think
Yeah, we're here.
people aren't going to go back and listen to the old one since I don't even know how to access it.
I think I have
I don't think it's online anymore.
I've got it recorded somewhere.
Yeah, I think I have it somewhere. It's just not on. It's just not posted.
Yeah.
It was on SoundCloud, but I stopped paying for the monthly, so
Okay.
it only gives me like 2 that I could post. So 1988, the second day after we moved from Othello to Snoqualmie.
Yeah, it's like our intro to the big new move, and it's almost like a something. I don't know. It was like it just happened to perfectly work out that way, where the tickets for that exact time when we moved over, and we knew nobody,
Yeah.
but we knew all these freaking bands that were going to be there. So we'd watched MTV, we knew what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
So Seattle wasn't ready for us. That
Nope.
was the thing.
They weren't. Glenn had went to the same show in Spokane, which is also funny because talking to Renee's aunts, 2 of her aunts went to that same show in Spokane because that's where they're
Really?
from.
Okay.
And they didn't, and them 2 by themselves, they're a little bit older. They didn't know each other went to that show, but
Wow.
they were both at that show that Glenn went to, and so they know exactly the show I'm talking about when we talk about it. Still comfortable.
Don't get that sorted out first.
It's just this chair again. The tailbone gets to me. But anyway, yeah, we walked in. You remembered this a little better than I did so we're standing in line. I can't remember how long we were in line, probably a while. But when the security guard checked our bag, because, well, first of all, we had the pre-show event of cutting up our jeans and shirts.
Yeah.
Do you remember what your shirt was? Was it a Kiss shirt? I think mine was AC/DC.
Yours was a Kiss shirt.
Mine was Kiss.
I think yours was Kiss. Mine might have been AC/DC, but
I remember people fan of AC/DC.
Rock and roll, Carl.
Yeah.
No, but I don't know if we cut up the Kiss shirt though, or maybe we did. I know we did our pants.
Why is that sacred ground? I thought we did the Hulk Hogan thing on it, the slits all the way up.
Maybe. I know we did with the AC/DC shirt, but I don't know if we were willing to do that to the Kiss shirt.
Well, if it was a Kiss shirt, it was yours because I never bought anything. I never bought anything at a concert. I don't have one concert shirt ever.
I've gotten a few.
Speaking of, we are wearing one right now.
Right.
Yeah, I from what I recall, I've never bought a band shirt. Kind of wish I would have, because that's one of the things we're going to do with you and Glenn, is try to recall all the bands that we've seen either together or separate or whatever. It's going to be quite a list. If you consider festivals, I don't know if you did many festivals. I did.
I didn't do as many as you did, but I did a few.
Yeah, I would have to like actually Google and look up lineups. So I did a few Infests, Warp Tours, did Warp Tour almost every year for probably a 5 or 6 year stretch. Fests. I think I did one Lollapalooza. Yeah, Ozfest at Auburn and the Gorge. That's the one time I did see Ozzy.
I didn't get to see him. Kind of wish I would have.
We didn't stick around. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge Ozzy fan. I mean, it's cool now that he's gone and I can say that I saw him, but I wasn't a particularly a huge Ozzy fan. Obviously a fan of bands that were inspired by him and all that kind of stuff. But personally, I don't know. It seemed like Ozzy music seemed like Highland Drive music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Fall City music.
Fall City and Highland Drive music is. And again, that's like the C and D row or D and E row of the valley.
Right. Ozzy and AC/DC. That's all you get up there.
Yeah, until we had friends up in Highland Drive, you didn't really go up there for any reason except if you're on the bus.
Yeah.
But I think I had a couple of, well, maybe only one friend up there, Jesse, when I was in high school.
I think that's where Adam and Craig lived, didn't they? Towards the very end of it.
Yeah, Adam and Craig and Ron Hebner lived up there.
Oh yeah, Hebner was up there.
Yeah.
Wasn't Osborne's up there too?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Speaking of.
Yeah, speaking of Aussies. Um, yeah, but we, like I said, I wasn't a huge Aussie fan. Anyway, back to that first show, Kingdom
Mm-hmm.
Come. Kingdom Come first, Motley
Kingdom
Crue or
Come,
Metallica second.
Metallica. We knew nothing about Metallica.
No,
I hadn't even heard the name before, except for reading it on the list of bands playing.
that's how sheltered we were musically because I had never heard of them, never heard of Pink Floyd, and there were Pink Floyd shirts all over,
Okay.
and Rush shirts. I remember seeing Rush shirts and Pink Floyd shirts. And I didn't have any idea they were even bands.
Led Zeppelin too.
Led Zeppelin.
Had no
Because that's
idea who
weird.
they were.
That's coming out of mid '80s. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and most of the people at that show were probably 10 years plus older than us.
Right.
So they came from the early '70s, late '60s crowd.
Yeah.
So yeah, first time we ever smelled marijuana.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. Kingdom Come, Motley Crue, not
No,
Metallica, Dokken, Scorpions, and Van Halen. And we didn't get to see much of Scorpions because that's when we decided to go get our drink and go to the bathroom.
See, I don't remember not seeing them for some reason. I don't remember this whole going to the bathroom debacle.
Yeah, you don't remember the 5 inches of piss that we had to wade through to?
Apparently not.
Maybe you didn't have to go. I went to the bathroom and you stood in line for drinks. But yeah, I was wading in the water there. It was.
Wow. Did you bring a life jacket?
No, I should have. A raft is what I should have brought. Galoshes. That's what I needed. God, it was so gross. Like you just look in, like every toilet had that had paper towels just stuffed into the drain. Same thing with the urinals. So you just let's do that because that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, we're all rock and roll. That's how we.
Yeah,
this is going to be our
wild.
Our hotel room here is just how we're going to treat it.
But and I don't actually remember a whole lot of the concert. I remember a little bit of Metallica. Didn't they have the crosses up all up on stage?
All I remember about Metallica is all the headbanging they were doing and how loud they were, and us getting probably high, trying to get away from the smoke by moving up.
Yeah, get into the stands is get away from this shit.
Let's get away from it. Take a break from all the action.
Yeah. We're not going to get too much into it, but we were holding each other on each other's shoulders so we can see a little bit better. And people were just looking at us like, what the hell are you two doing? Two little teenage guys. Treating it like guys and their girlfriends.
Right. They wanted to see. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even remember that. I do remember.
You don't remember that either?
No, I remember when we rushed the stage with Kingdom Come because everybody was doing that. We just had to follow suit and had no idea that what was about to come, or we are going to get lifted off our feet. And we had linked arms, and they were at the mercy of the crowd, just doing what it was going to do until that one huge dude came by and got us hell out of there.
Wonder how big he actually was.
I don't know.
He was big to us.
Yeah, we looked up and
he's like, "You want to get out of here?"
Yes, please. Yes, sir.
Back tears,
guys. We're from the country.
That wasn't his first rodeo. He knew how to get in and out of those. He just bull rushed people, and they got the hell out of his way. We must have looked scared as shit because why would he just ask us if we wanted to get out of there?
or he wanted an excuse to mow people over. So either way, we both got what we wanted.
Could have been one of those. Yeah, I just remember walking in and just like being surprised that we can get that close to the stage. Everybody was still sitting down. Then I don't know if the lights cut out, then everybody stood up, or how it went. Or
I think we were sitting there. We had to make sure we finished all of our candy that was in the bag. That
you don't want to carry that around.
No, you don't want to look like an idiot.
No,
don't really have that covered.
You want to pregame before. That's what's called pregame.
So yeah, I think we finished all that, and then as soon as the lights went down, that's when everybody rushed, and we figured, oh, everybody else is doing it, let's do it too. So we just followed the crowd.
Yeah. We had a lot of experience. Let's mess with the light, Carl. Right in the middle of this.
Keep going too.
Because I'll get uncomfortable in this position soon. Then I'll move back. Everybody's in for a treat. Yeah, I don't remember the later bands. I remember Metallica.
I remember. Yeah, it was Metallica.
Yeah, I've got it right that time, but it was wrong. It's the wrong band. I'm thinking of Van Halen didn't come out for an encore because Sammy got hit in the head with a bottle, so they didn't play "Running with the Devil" that everybody was waiting for.
Yeah, I could have cared less to hear that song. I didn't miss any of it.
You didn't like that? Who were you there mainly for? We're big. It was big Scorpions. We listened to Scorpions
Yeah,
like
didn't we
every
go?
day, digging that trailer out during the
Yeah,
summer. That summer,
yeah, and then we go and miss that
yeah.
apparently.
Let's plan that out. Perfect.
I think
Dawkins because of Glenn.
yeah,
Um,
we knew Can You Come because of Glenn. Well, I think it was probably more Scorpions and Van Halen.
yeah. But cool to say that we saw Eddie Van Halen in his
Yeah.
probably his prime.
Oh, easy. Yeah.
Or just a little post prime. I think 84 was probably earlier than that was 80. We had this discussion with the band text that Eddie Van Halen with David Lee Roth, probably the guitar playing was better, but the actual songs and choruses and stuff were way stronger with
Yeah.
Hagar.
Yeah.
So
That
because
makes sense.
I mean Eddie didn't do anything really new in the later albums. It's just his style, but when the earlier albums, it was like something people hadn't heard.
Yeah.
And Glenn was the Van Halen guy, big time.
Him and Kai and Swin were definitely ones introduced to that kind of music.
Yeah,
or music in general. I think Kai and Swin are pretty huge in forming mine at least taste in heavy metal, or at least introducing it.
I think I remember them coming to stay at the house once and locking. I don't know if it's just me or for both of us, locking us in Glenn's bedroom with the lights off in the middle of the night, playing the beginning of "Shout Out the Devil," scaring us because that weird intro at the beginning of the song.
Right.
I remember that. I don't remember a whole lot of. I don't remember them like musically. You were a little older. So you probably remember a little more. I remember most of my stuff either coming from Glenn. If it wasn't Kiss, it came from Glenn. Until we moved away from him and started discovering our own stuff. We can get out and go to the music stores ourselves. And
yeah,
we definitely took a heavier path than he did.
Yeah, I remember with Kai and Swin, I remember they were listening to AC/DC and Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, and it was the whole Satan panic, satanic
panic. Yeah,
yeah. I remember all that
been brought up a few times in this.
Yeah,
in this podcast.
And that's back then. I think we were still going to church, so I kind of like rubbed me wrong a little bit back then. But at the same time, it was still kind of like, what the hell is that about, and why are these guys like this? And had that appeal to it.
Yeah, church. That's another thing we should talk about. Church was an odd thing. Now we just were expected to go. It's not like, well, when you're kids, you don't have that choice. Well, Dad didn't go. It was Mom. Mom took us.
Right.
Glenn seemed to be a little more into it. He was youth group and stuff like that when he got a little bit older into high school. We did. I remember Sunday school. Like 1 year of Sunday school, I remember. Then after that, everybody would congregate to the main church, and you and I would play hangman or whatever we do, bend each other's fingers until we
tic-tac-toe and
until we started laughing. Mom. She liked it a lot. We never embarrassed her at all.
Nope. Kept it cool with her.
I tell people stories about when we'd get bored of her, like back when you can leave kids in the car. When you were shopping, she would just leave us in the car. When we got tired of her shopping, we just lay on the horn, and she knew it was us because no one else would do that. In Aiken's parking lot,
yeah,
old Aiken's.
We were ready to go.
Yeah, now you're ready. Wrap it up, Mom.
We've already played Dukes of Hazzard and whatever else the games we can play. And
trying to climb in and out of the car windows.
think we belonged in Island Drive.
Yeah, she had a treat trying to raise three boys. That's for sure. Didn't give her. I mean, we didn't get in big trouble, so that's good. But just I don't know, us probably not really respecting her. We didn't fear her for one.
Yeah,
we wait till Dad gets home. That was the move that she.
That
worked.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't work until Dad did get home. Then
it seemed like it was real. It's like, oh shit,
oh,
she's serious.
She meant it.
She's serious.
I don't know if Glenn felt the same or had the same experience. I was telling Adam, like no two kids have the same childhood. Even if you're raised together, same house, even if you're close in age and your parents don't try to, but they do treat you different. They don't try to, but I mean they do. I think it's just human nature. You can't really you don't treat any two people the same way. So like how I view our childhood is probably different from how you view it.
Probably.
I mean, we have the same experiences, like just the experiences, but how we view those experiences are a little bit different. I would assume. So we get into so after that concert, we go to a few more concerts. We'll get into that with Glenn and you and I and Glenn get together. But it was that year where we decided we were going to actually try to play our own music.
Mm-hmm.
With my 8th grade year and your
Sophomore
year.
Yeah.
So Christmas time, they bought us our Sears little white Sears and amps.
Yeah.
No distortion whatsoever.
Nope. And those
Why doesn't
guitars. This I don't understand that those guitars might as well have been playing a rake. I mean, it was like the strings were so high up on that fretboard that it was painful to play that thing, but we were determined.
I think I remember seeing it in the catalog, and it looked like from what I remember, it looked like either the frets itself or the fret, like the dots were green. But when we got them, not like shot, not like glowing green, but they just had like a green hue. It's probably just how it looked in the magazine, but we got it, and I remember just being disappointed that I don't. Did we pick them out? Maybe I'm wrong. Did we pick them out, or did they just surprise us with them?
Surprised us with them, yeah. Because probably because we were talking nonstop about wanting guitars, and probably that's about the only thing they would be out of us for probably months.
Dad getting tired of making them out of wood for us, so might as well just go buy one. So we stop talking about it
that way. Be cheaper that way, finally. Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting. Glenn is the one that taught us our first song, how to play, well, at least the first riff of our first song.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably as far as he got playing guitar at all. That didn't grab his interest much. From what it sounds like now, I think he's probably kind of regrets that a little bit, because he was saying, I think one of his bucket lists is to be on a recorded song.
Okay.
But he doesn't know what he'd want to do, if it was drums or play guitar. Drums would probably be easier if we kept it if it was kept simple or whatever.
Yeah.
But his friend Eric knew how to play, so Eric taught him. That's who he ended up living with his senior year.
Yeah, he could tell him how to play that song, and all he really needed to do. I mean, it was cool he taught us a song, but all he really needed to do is say, "This is the power chord, and here's how you play heavy metal."
Yeah,
that's all we needed to hear, and then we're off to the races.
Yeah,
you could do this everywhere.
Well, once
works, I'm like, shit.
Once we got distortion.
Yeah, once we got our first pedal.
Power chords aren't really powerful if there's no distortion in it.
Do you remember what pedal we got to make distortion happen? Was it like a Boss, or was it a DOD distortion pedal?
I don't remember.
I remember it cost like $80.
Black?
Yeah. Remember it cost like $80, and that was like, might as well cost $1,000 at the time, because that's all the money we had for.
And we had to share it.
Mm-hmm, of course.
Did we only get one amp? Did we have two?
No, I think we had two. I think those are a few things we didn't have to share, but we had to. There's only one pedal.
Well, I wouldn't say we necessarily shared a lot of things. We just had two. We're kind of raised like twins.
Yeah.
All of our clothes were matching, and Glenn would have the same clothes, but it'd be a little different color, like especially our jackets, winter jackets.
Same pattern, but different color. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because they wanted to differentiate us that way.
Apparently, I don't know. That's stupid.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know when we first actually started getting serious. So that was 8th grade, and I started in my first band junior year. So there were 3 or 4 years there, 3 years where it was just you and I.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever tried to actually play songs, like write songs or anything. We just tried to figure out songs.
Yeah. I was at that point before actually getting into a band. I was able to figure out songs by ear.
Yeah.
From either tapes or CDs or the radio, and kind of figure out the guitar riff that way. At least not the leads or anything, but the main part of the songs. So I was getting decent at that back then, but that's as far as I took it.
I was talking to somebody else where I called myself a lazy musician. Where if it didn't matter if it came easy to me. If it didn't come easy to me, then I didn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Or if it came easy to me, then I felt like I didn't need to really work at it because I picked it up kind of quick.
Yeah.
Well, we both had the background in school band, but that did not translate to guitar at all for me.
I think it did for me a little bit. I knew how to have the feel for music versus just going in like a
timing.
caveman.
Yeah, timing, maybe beat time signatures
tempo,
a little bit,
and tempo, and over to were to have breaks, and that doesn't need to be constantly just
Yeah.
going nonstop.
But as
But
far as
yeah,
like making the noise, the actual noise, it didn't obviously doesn't really translate between you were saxophone and I was trumpet.
yeah,
So I can't remember. I started playing with other people before you did, right? Because
yeah. You were
you weren't in a band. No, you weren't in a band before Silent Groove happened.
no. I think when that group was going on, you first started. I was over in Spokane,
Yeah,
and Rob and I had recorded 2 songs over there, just like open air,
yeah.
where he was playing drums, I was playing guitar, and then we overlooked singing on top of it. But that was
And you tried out for a band, or
I
you
I
sent your
tried to.
audition in or something for singer, right?
Yeah, never
Yeah,
sang before, but I was going to go ahead and front a band without ever doing it before, and never did get the call. Shocker.
yeah.
Yeah, they would have been so excited to get this shy guy coming in, going, "What am I supposed to do with this?"
That last
People
video
probably
that I
hear
got
me.
from Nate was him and I were in health class together, and we had to do some kind of project. So that video was us rehearsing a song to make a video to play it in front of the class.
Okay.
It was me, him, and Toby, and I was singing. God, it's terrible. I watched that whole thing. You just got a little clip. It's 14 minutes of that same song 5 times.
Boy.
Yeah, it's fun. Let's keep recording that. Well, it was our first experience in the same, actually playing, not mine. It was mine. It was not Nate. He played some other things before, and I think Toby played with his dad and his dad's friends before.
Okay.
He was 14. He sounded like a infant, his voice when he was like so high. Um but that's it's still fun to look at. It's like one of those embarrassing things I was telling you about because I was probably 16 then,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Um, but so I started with Silent Groove my junior year and started to because we had always dreamed of being in bands when we were little. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was explaining to someone, we weren't dreaming of little stuff. We were stadiums. Like I mean, and I think I told the story even when we were doing 30s burning. You wanted the sound to reflect you hitting a bass note and the lights behind us lighting up if we were
You goddamn right.
playing on a stadium. We never made it out of my living room, the living room of the mom and dad's trailer, or the dining room, whatever that room is called where we practice, and had our one show with the drum machine. But we
Yep.
did with that band. We did get a. You don't remember because you were going through massage school. You remember it, but you don't remember. You said it was kind of foggy. The John Lang or Bob Lang Studios.
I remember the first evening we were there and laying down all my tracks and all that. I thought you said you guys went back there a day or two after that, but I think I only remember it being there for one day.
I thought I was there more than just once, maybe to do the vocals. I came back.
Because I think you're
Um,
doing those. I think you're doing those vocals when I left, and that's when the drummer at the time, Chris, found out that you're going to yell at be doing stuff like either yelling or screaming in the thing, which wasn't discussed at all until until you got into the mic room, and then I knew it was going on, and we were leaving, and all of a sudden he hears that, he looks at me, and he's like, "Oh yeah, there's going to be yelling on the song."
I remember him saying like, I don't like yelling just to be yelling. Like it has to like, well, go away then. This is your one thing with us. He just never did fit. He never fit in.
Yeah, he was a good guy,
Really.
but it wasn't
Yeah.
style wise. It was different.
Well, none of us. Well, I think you and I kind of compromised a bit with Chris, and Chris compromised with us. And I still
Yeah,
like it. I still like listening. Go back and listen to it. There's some that are, I mean, they're all good and they all sound fine. It doesn't sound like a real cohesive album. It's like there's some real soft stuff and there's some yelly stuff, but no songs that yelling all the way through. There's usually singing or yelling
right.
throughout it. That was 2000. Was that 2003 ish?
Yeah, I think so.
I think I moved over here in '04,
Okay,
which is weird. I've been over here 21 years.
that's
Isn't that weird?
impossible. Yeah,
I know.
a little bit.
This is what makes it weird. I was Dempsey's age when I moved over.
Wow,
He's 20 years younger than I am.
holy crap!
So
You're a whopping 30 years old and you came over, huh?
yeah, it's
Wow.
crazy. Yeah, driving kids around on a school bus at 30 years old.
Hmm.
So that's what makes it weird for me. Not necessarily that I've been here for that long, which is also weird. The longest place I've ever lived is here.
Yeah,
But the fact that Dempsey's now the age that I was when I moved over. Um, So what was your first band was with Derek and
Yeah,
Eric?
the Stevlins, yeah, the
Do you remember?
Stevlins.
I think I can kind of guess how that came along because you and Derek would record some high quality stuff over at his place.
Yeah, I think I was that one summer when I was 19 or whatever, I was over at his house, so, like, all summer long, and there was no rules, there's no no's, just whatever came out, we're recording
Yeah,
the entire song. It wasn't just, like, an idea, it was like, we're gonna do everything.
I
Even
think you were
shot
over there.
videos
I think you were over there more than I was
that summer.
that summer. Yeah,
Yeah,
because you'd always have some new songs for me to listen to.
and you
Um,
had no time for it,
most of them I didn't have a lot of time for.
right?
Well, because Derek got to flex his Derek muscle, and you're just happy to be playing.
Yeah. We
Um,
can be dorks with no
no
inhibitions.
judgment with no
Yeah,
call of
just
judgment.
right.
Me who just talk about how big of a dork we were when we were younger. Um, but so that formed because of that.
Mhm.
I can't remember how Eric got into the picture. Did you work with Eric? Is
I
that
did
how the connection worked?
I had no idea who Eric was, I don't think, until I don't know sure how Derek knew him, but
Well,
somehow we all came together and
Derek knew him because of our bands played together. Uh,
Silts
Silent
and
Groove and Silt or
okay,
Hippocamp, whatever they were at the time.
right.
But I don't remember how Eric. Well, I think after we booted Derek, he gravitated towards. No, that's after. That's after. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to ask him. He's coming up on Tuesday. No, he's coming up on Monday. So I'll ask him how that all happened. I remember his little sore spot for me because Derek and I were supposed to be like venturing out on our own after Silent Groove, trying to find two different people because Nate was going off to college and Kobe was just young.
Yeah,
So as we're trying to do that, then all of a sudden he goes off and finds a band to play, finds two other people to play with, and I wasn't involved, and that kind of made me mad,
yeah.
little jealous because I was sitting there with no band. I can't remember. I can't remember how I ended up, how that even ended up happening. Me joining. Maybe you do.
I don't remember exactly, maybe it was we thought that maybe it sounded would be more full if we had 2 guitars versus just 1.
Yeah,
That probably was it, and then you and I can live our little dream of being in a band together too, so it's kind of
yeah,
everything was
which we
fell in
always wanted to
place.
do.
Yeah,
Then we ended up trying out one singer, um, Brian Lazarus
yeah,
the one show,
yeah,
and figured out pretty quickly that wasn't going to be a thing.
yeah, and the only reason he tried him out is because he had his own PA.
Is that why? I didn't know that.
I don't think we knew that if he could sing or not, he just had the equipment, so we're like, "Alright, you're in.
It's one less
You
thing
are
we got to
in."
worry about. But I think yeah, he lasted that one show and he's like, no,
Yeah,
I think and that was Derek's contact
okay,
because I didn't know him. I think I maybe knew of him, maybe not. I don't even think I remember him really or knew of him.
yeah,
I
no,
just remember that. So we went on after that. Let me see. Then Adam. Then I think we decided I was going to sing full time.
okay.
Then we brought Adam on. Adam on.
Right, were you and Derek sharing
Yeah,
singing at the time? Okay,
yeah. Then I think I figured out I didn't want to play and sing at the same time. I can't remember what it was. Um, but yeah. So then we ended up asking Adam to come along, and he didn't want to. He didn't think he was good enough. But we had to convince him to give it a try. I was like, we're not. It's not like we're that complicated.
right,
I think we're. I don't know if you and I had already talked about trying to lean more towards a little simpler,
maybe?
heavier type stuff.
Yeah,
Because I was talking to, I think it was, yeah, I think I was talking to Derek about I need to turn this down a little bit. Cool. Look right at it like it's the sun. Now I see rings. Cool. So I remember I think Eric was saying something, or Derek was telling me when he was talking to Eric about it that Eric was like, yeah, they said they didn't want solos anymore. Then they go hire some guy then they go get some guy that plays solos. And it wasn't the case that we didn't want solos. It was we didn't want solos all the time wherever there was any kind of dead space.
yeah,
That wasn't,
yeah,
so I mean, it was we were things were just growing thin with Derek, and I talked to you, earlier about the way we did it was pretty shitty.
oh, yeah,
Um,
it was probably the worst way of doing it, but that's,
yeah,
what do we know back then?
it was the worst way of doing it, but in our, I think I think I remember the conversation of it's going to be awkward telling him he's out, then having to sit there and load our equipment out of the room while he's there, out of his house while he's sitting there, you know.
Yeah.
So we
I don't
decided to,
remember. I don't even remember that. The only thing I really remember, the way I remember it going down with him and I is, I remember him calling me when I was at work, and I think he had told me there's a show that he had lined up for us, and then there was a customer coming. I'm like, hey, by the way, you're out of the band. Click. You know, pretty
really?
sweet. It was a
I don't
very
remember that.
it was a very like, oh, by the way. So
No,
it was we may have had that meeting at McDonald's after that, but I remember that being part of the whole scenario.
I thought he figured out. I thought that's when he found out he was out of the band when he came home and all the equipment was gone
It could be,
out of the room.
but I don't
Then I
remember
thought
doing
that's
that.
why he called you, is to find out what the fuck, like, what the hell's going on. Everything's
Yeah,
gone. I don't remember anything about a show, but
I think I remember something about a show, and we'd already made up our minds, so I wasn't.
we never played a show in that lineup, did we? With
Uh,
Adam.
with Adam, no, I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Well, I think the only show we played with Derek in that band was in that lineup was the barbecue show.
Yeah, it might have been.
Because you Estevans played the same night as with Derek's disguise of wearing a different shirt or a shirt over the same shirt and glasses. Nobody knew who he was.
It was
The Clark Kent effect.
Superman and Clark Kent.
Yeah. So Silent Groove played that night, and he played that night. Then we played again at the high school within. But I can't remember what that lineup was. Was it you, Adam, Tim, and I?
I think so. Just,
We had
yeah,
the light effect with the strobe light that Rob did.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
our finale. It was the walk, I think, that we threw that one in.
yeah,
But then after Adam came on, then Derek exited. Then we picked up Jason, which was an adventure all on its own. We played a few shows with him.
yeah.
We played two of his friends, like basement shows, or was it only
Yeah.
two? We played the one in Bellevue, then we played one somewhere else where we did Hunger Strike.
Yeah. Hey, Carl, hold on a
yeah.
second. I gotta run to the bathroom real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, pause that.
Feel better?
Okay, so we were on with Jason.
Yeah, we did. So we did New World. We did his two shows with his friends. We did
2 or 3 shows at the basement.
I only remember one.
I think there's a few of them that we did with him. Yeah, remember there's a few of them that we played there.
So we did 5 or 6 shows with him, maybe. Then we got tired of him. Got tired of his stuff, and I think the way he acted at one of the basement shows was the final straw, disrespecting everybody there.
Yeah, and I don't even remember that at all. So when I heard your last few podcasts about talking about him, I was like, I don't remember. I was over bouncing around in the corner by myself, so I didn't.
That's probably what pissed me off about it. I wanted him gone.
Yeah.
Then so we ended up kicking him out, and that just left us 4 with Tim. Well, when did Eric leave? Was he before or after Jason? He was after. He was before Jason. After Jason. Sorry, after Jason.
Did we got rid of Eric?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember the reason for that. I don't know if it was his availability or another style mesh.
That could be. It wasn't a kid thing, was it? Were his kids already born at that point?
Oh yeah, his kids. He had all 3 of his kids by then.
Okay.
He had his first kid when I was still in Silent Groove in high school. So he had all 3 then still. Well, maybe 2. I don't know. It may have been a kid thing, but I don't think he really cared at that point. He was still willing to do music.
Yeah.
That's the one that's foggy with me. I remember the Derek things. That one was dramatic.
Right.
But Eric, I don't really remember the Jason one. I just know we did because we went on without him. That's when it went, because we were refused then.
Mm-hmm.
With him. Then kicked Eric out. Derek said that's one reason that him and Eric bonded, is both being kicked out at the same time.
Oh, man. we carry a pretty cool legacy with us, huh?
Yeah. Oh, then later on you kicked me out of a band, so we can talk about that one too.
I don't remember that.
You and Chris kicked me out of 30s Burning for a couple of weeks, and decided that we'd get back. So after Eric, so it must have been me, you, seems like that the four. I don't know. It's hard for me to remember. It didn't seem like there was much going on with the four, just the four piece with Eric involved as well. I remember mostly with Tim.
Yeah. I think once we got Tim is when maybe your friendship with John got a little bit stronger and you felt like started putting us on with more shows and all that kind of stuff because he and Toby had that kind of shared straight edge background. Maybe I don't know if that was
Well,
part of it at all.
no, I think no, we were getting shows with Tim before that. Um, then once we booted Tim out,
At least I didn't have to do that one.
I did that one, didn't I?
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember hearing stories of Tim like going out and celebrating with his friends that he wasn't in the band anymore or something. Um, but then I had the connection with Toby, who is in Silent Groove. Uh, I think I'd lost touch with him for a little while. Well, back then it was pretty easy to without cell phones or internet.
Yeah.
Then I think he was over at John's or something. I'm just talking out my ass. I don't know how it happened, but we ended up getting Tim or Toby. Well, we went and recorded our only demo with Tim
Yeah.
over in
Up in
Ellensburg.
Ellensburg. Yeah. And that was our first real experience. I mean, not the refused demo we did at Rob's, but this is actually going to the studio and having somebody we didn't know record us and we can just concentrate on what we're doing.
Well, I did that with Silent Groove.
That's right. That's right.
That,
okay.
that
For my first one.
Yeah, a four piece. Yeah, that thing with Rob, we could have paid somebody $500 who knew what we were doing and actually got something we can listen to.
Yep.
Do we say I need to listen? Do you have those on digital
I
or
think so.
digitally? I need you to
Yeah.
send me those. I don't think I have them. I might actually. I just never want to revisit them.
Yeah.
That's when I was like learning how to kind of scream, yell,
Mhm.
sing at the same time. I still did some singing. I think did I do singing with
Yeah.
that band or was it all yelling? I can't remember.
You did both.
Okay.
Especially like with crying, not crying scream, but
But yeah, that's right. Now it's coming back to me.
yeah.
Crying scream. So then
And closing in where you guys are doing harmonies and the whole deal. So we're kind of doing almost all of it at that point.
That's another case. It was a closing in where we took that song because Derek totally wrote that song. I didn't have anything to do with it, but we kept it. We just played it, and he played it in his band.
Yeah.
Throughout the years, we're both doing it.
Yep.
I don't think we kept it very long though.
No.
Well, Within obviously didn't do it. So I think Tim's priorities, we got rid of. This is going to be excellent sound quality with me moving all over the place. The thing it has that little magic audio button that evens everything out. You still hear everything fine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
What? Tim was a kind of I think the last straw with him was the Ground Zero show where he didn't want to come do it because he's at that little band camp, that little drum camp in Tacoma. We had to like basically kidnap him or sneak him out of there. He snuck out of his dorm room to come do that show because he didn't want to.
Yeah. I don't remember that. I remember him like somebody wanted us to come play a show like last minute and he was saying something about that's not what we're about and we didn't want to play this and play that and we were like you and I were looking at him like what do you mean that's not what we're about? It's exactly what we're about. We want to go and play.
I think was that I think that might have been the Ground Zero show.
It may have been. I don't know. I just remember that being we were surprised that he didn't want to play. He'd rather put his drumline camp ahead of us. How dare him?
I think he was afraid to tell his parents that he wanted to go play with his band instead of the camp that they probably paid for him to go to.
Maybe.
So I think that was the last straw with him. Then Toby came on board, and that's when we meshed really well. Us four were doing some stuff. Even Toby said that's the only heavy music that he really played, that really heavy stuff, and he hasn't played anything since. But even he says, I think we could have gone somewhere with that if we would have like seen it through or whatever. But it was weird timing. I had Dempsey right. I think it was right after it ended. I had Dempsey. I think it kind of fell apart before he was born.
Yeah,
it was that same year.
Yeah,
we did our last show was at John's. Adam wasn't into it at all. That show, he was ready. We sounded like shit that show.
We went from one of our best shows, the one we have a recording of, to that show, which is one of our worst, and then it just imploded. Just everybody went their own ways, and that was that.
Do you remember the last show name change? We changed the name
Till We
Or I
Fall.
changed the name to
Yeah.
Till We Fall because I
Till We
thought that
Fall.
would, yeah, I thought that would spark our interest again.
Yeah. And we fell.
Yeah, unless we fell once after one show. It was, yeah, that was, I don't know. I could tell, we can kind of tell the end was happening. I don't know if we would have been strong if I would have kept going after Dempsey was bike. I don't know. Being a new dad is
Yeah.
kind of pulls you in a different direction pretty quickly.
Yeah, we had steam behind us. We were making a name for ourselves, and then you found out like 20 years after the fact that we had two minor labels looking at us. That if we would have known that back then, that may have possibly
Yeah,
changed.
yeah.
If we knew
I'm trying to think of Dave's Dave's label's name. It's not Excursion.
Overkill.
I can't remember. I'll text him. But he said there was some interest. I don't think he's exactly, he remembers us, and he said, I mean, I think as far as it probably went, if there's a band starting to kind of get some traction, making a name for himself, he'd write it down in a notebook. Whoever, because he said those small labels never had money. He even hesitates calling himself a label. He would just, you know, figure out how to get people recorded and figure out how to do some distribution on their own and put it under his, whatever his name was.
Okay.
But he said whenever somebody would start to get a little traction, it'd kind of be a race between the smaller labels who would get them first.
Okay.
So I think that's kind of where we fell into it. He says, I'm pretty sure I had you written in a notebook somewhere of these guys are, on the way up. So might want to jump on board because we had Pettibone,
Yeah.
in our quarter.
Yeah. He was our
That
big
doesn't
trip.
hurt.
No, he's the biggest.
Not in that scene.
Oh, I mean, he's the ringleader of that whole circus. Might
Yeah.
as well if he's on board, then
Yeah.
all his minions are on board. So yeah.
So I just remember, I can't remember if it was face to face or it was a phone call where he said every time there's a chance for us to open, he was going to put us on the opening slot. Well, he came and saw us at the Mount Si show. It was face to face, and he saw us at the Within Mount Si show.
Okay.
He was just in the crowd listening to us, and he was really into it. Then he started just like talking about us to all of his friends. And I remember before the Ground Zero show, John Orton came up to me and said, like like everybody in the parking lot's talking about you guys. Like they're excited to come see you, and they've been hearing about you. So I had to tell everybody to stand up after
they're so excited.
sitting down. Well, those weren't the hardcore. Those are like the Bellevue local kids.
Okay.
They were just at a show because people in the back were standing up, and I just had to tell everybody else to stand. And they did right away.
Yeah.
I could stand up. So, but I think that ended up actually being a pretty good show, pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun.
There's some
I don't remember if was Tim on that one or was that Toby?
That was Tim.
Yeah.
That was the one where we had to get him out of band.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, drum school.
Yeah.
That may have been his last show.
we'll let you see a good show and then you're out.
So yeah, I think that one ended up actually being good because the lineup was Botch, which went on to be one of the biggest hardcore bands in the scene.
Yeah.
Toe and Spearhead. I think there's Spearhead still. Balance of the World.
Okay.
That was us. I think it was only 4. I think it was us 4.
I'm kind of remembering 1007 too, but I don't remember if they were there.
They may have been. I just wish there was. The only thing that I like when people find old flyers, but no one has a year on them. It's always just the month and day, but no one has a year, so it's kind of hard to piece together what happened when.
Yeah.
But we played some pretty big, some in the scene, pretty big names, Trial and stuff like that. Trial, the biggest show I was kind of sad we weren't a part of. We may have been broken up at the time when Snapcase and I keep calling him Slapface because of a story. Snapcase and Integrity both played the same night.
Yeah. Was that at John's or was that Ground Zero as well?
Ground Zero was Integrity. I think Ground Zero was Integrity. Then the next night, Snapcase was coming. Then Integrity was still in town. I can't remember exactly how, because Integrity stayed at the trailer with
you,
because mom and dad were over here, grandma and grandpa's or grandma's that weekend, so I had them stay there. But I can't remember how that John. I should have asked John. I'm going to have him back on again, but I can't remember how that show came about. But one of them wasn't planned to be there, but they ended up. That was that biggest show. It was like tons of people inside and outside.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah,
fun show.
I think we were breaking up at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I took about a 10-year break from music.
Yeah.
You joined Jason. Speaking of Jason, his band for one show,
Think so, yeah. I think it was for another party, like another like yeah, just a like a little kegger kind of party that
yeah,
show that we had there.
which I didn't go see because I think Earth Crisis was playing that night at the
Mm.
Redmond Y. So I went to that. Then what was next for you? Was it IROT? No, IROT was after. Was 30 Days Burning
Third is
next?
burning. I think Third is burning was next.
So that was 2000. So it was probably a 10-year break for you too. Then
Yeah.
close to it.
Yeah, that's when I decided to yeah, that's when I started getting into or not getting into, but working on my practice and all that kind of stuff. So I actually didn't would actually put music aside. It was almost think I'd never play again,
Mm-hmm.
um but yeah,
I'm,
got my head on straight again.
how did that? How did that? That was you probably because wasn't Chris? What was the drummer's name? I can't remember his last name.
Longman. Chris
Wasn't
Long at the time, but um or Chris Moon.
Moon? It's Chris
He's
Moon.
okay, Chris Moon.
Yeah, he was in the same marketing group you were.
Yeah, so yeah, we're in the same business group and we started talking and he played drums and told him I played bass and so we
How,
started talking about that.
and how did Chris get into the picture?
I think I just gone over. I think Chris and I had shown each other different recordings that we had done before, like stuff I'd done on my own, um, stuff that he has done on his own, and then we started talking, and then we just knew that we both wanted to play, so I made it pretty
And
simple.
and Chris was there. Oh, because the female friend group that you guys kind of hung around. How did you meet Chris then? Chris Littlefield.
He was married to Heather,
Heather. Yeah, but
and Heather was friends with like Chris's ex-wife and Kristen and all that group.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so they were a circle. That's how I knew. So
Which is
whenever
kind of
we were
fun. You would think I would have the connection to Littlefield since he was married to my best friend through high school sister.
exactly, yeah,
But yeah, but you introduced him to me. I still remember our one band meeting that we had when we decided we were going to make a go of it at the Pig and Whistle in Seattle.
yeah,
That's still a thing. You can't even say pig without doing that. But I can't. I was going through stuff at that point too, with
yeah,
getting separated and all that kind of stuff. Not yeah, I wasn't having a good time at all in my personal life,
right.
and I don't know if that's why I decided just to do it again to keep my mind occupied. But stylistically, I don't know if we had a. I think I wanted to do harmonies. I told Chris that I wanted to do like I told him that I like I remember one part of the conversation I told him I like Simon and Garfunkel harmonies, and he was surprised because he knew I was like heavy music. Um, but it's foggy on how that all. I know that one meeting happened. But I think you three. Then you asked me. Then I came along the last part of it for singing.
Maybe.
Well, I don't know. So were you and Chris? Did you and Chris make the connection? You and Chris Thunderpaw make the connection before Chris Moon, or do you
Yeah, I
remember?
think yeah, I think so. Yeah, 'cause I know that he and I wanted to play, and then we were just trying to find who was available to play and who might be a good match. And so I think you were an automatic, for vocals and all that kind of stuff, and didn't know if you're going to do guitar as well. And then we just
I
couldn't find a
started
drummer.
out doing guitar.
Okay. Oh yeah,
Um,
there's pictures of us at some point of on the guitar.
yeah.
Or
Well, I play
yeah, on
yeah
the bass,
that
but again,
song that I wrote. Plus at the studio, I'm playing guitar
okay,
on that song. I wrote that's alone. I think
yeah,
when we practiced out at the trailer.
basement again. Well, first
Oh,
it
we
was the
started out at
basement.
the basement. Then it
Yeah,
ended up. But mom and dad must have moved during that band, right? So
must have. Yeah.
that's when the trailer house kind of opened up,
Mm-hmm.
and we played in that room right off the kitchen there, which is real convenient for me, not for you two, but it's convenient for me.
Yeah.
Chris Moon was never part of that because that's after because it was all drum machine after that.
Right. Well, we tried two other drummers.
Yeah.
One showed up for one. Both of them only lasted for one practice or one night.
One didn't like the music.
Okay.
Then Kylan brought the other guy from that he knew from the bar who liked it, but we didn't like his commitment level because he didn't know our songs after one practice. So he was out, learn all of them,
Yep.
come back and be ready, and he wasn't because we were ready to take off apparently. Um, that's kind of one thing I do. I wish we would have been able to play out with that band. Probably it would have been.
That would have been fun. Yeah.
Like that would have been a test on my voice, going back and forth between the singing and the yelling. But I didn't do. I did some. Yeah, I did a decent amount.
Yeah.
But it's hard to do them all in one show and still make the screaming was still sound fine, but the singing kind of takes a hit.
Right.
So that lasted until like Chris and I kind of moved the same time.
Mm-hmm. Which left me alone yet again.
Yeah. Story of your life.
Yep.
middle child, middle Chad. How long did it take you to actually? This is kind of fun. I don't know if you remember, but BJ and I were talking. However, we were communicating online at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked me to play. He asked me if I wanted to play bass for his band.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, I live in Eastern Washington. I said, ask Chad. Chad lives over there. He plays bass. He goes, oh shit, that's right. Chad plays. So he got a hold of you, and I told him I wasn't obviously gonna be able to do that.
Yeah.
Then so was IROT like fully? Was it fully formed when you joined, or was he kind of building it?
It was fully formed. There was 2 guitarists at the time, and they were called Breakneck when I first joined them.
Yeah, I remember.
So yeah, they were fully playing shows and the whole deal. And they had just either kicked out their bass player or he had left. I can't remember. I don't know exactly how that whole went down, but yeah, they gave me a call, and the only recording they had was, it might as well have been open air recording, because it was just I had no idea what the hell was going on. I just showed up with my bass and like, all right, let's see what happens here.
Yeah.
And yeah, they just had to kind of like just learn on the seat of my pants, just kind of go and kind of look at what one of the guitarists was doing when he wasn't swinging his guitar around, to see where his fingers were, and
who were the guitarists then?
At the time it was Brady and Zach.
Okay. Brady, Brady was the kind of showboat guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zach was like Lurch. Just kind of stood there with his hair down to his knees.
Just so calm about everything.
Everything.
So I should have been watching him, because I wouldn't have had to duck the the swinging around and all that stuff. But
his hair was out of the way.
So yeah, so it was those guys, and then it was me, BJ, of course, on vocals, and Aubrey on drums.
Okay. Then you just had one member change. You got Jeremy after.
So after we let Brady go, we were just a 4-piece for a long time, and then Jeremy came in towards the end of our run.
Who got to do the honors of kicking Brady out? BJ?
No, I was Aubrey.
Aubrey.
As soon as we moved from, and we were all talking about it, but as soon as we moved from Aubrey's garage to the practice pad in Everett, I think it was day 1. I think he showed up. Brady rolled his thing in there, rolled his equipment in. Aubrey looked at him and goes, "Yeah, I can't remember. It was just about as brutal as I was with me and Derek's like, yeah, you're out." So he just turned right back around and walked out, and
nice.
That was it. It's like, wow, that was easy. I was expecting there to be a little fight or something, but
what are you going to do?
Yeah. So yeah, it was us 4 for a while, and then we brought Jeremy on. He was there for about the last year or 6 months of IROT.
How long was IROT a thing? 4 years, maybe, or was it even that long?
Oh. It was. They started talking to me in 2006 when I went and saw them play the 666 show, and then I think that was the last show that their bass player had, and then that's when I joined. So I joined late 2006, and then we ended pretty much December 20th of 2008.
Was there a thing that happened?
It was the first Protect show that BJ was had set up.
Okay.
And only I think 4 of the 10 bands were able to make it there because there's an ice storm that night. And Jeremy and Aubrey, they both live up north, and they couldn't even make it out of the driveways to get there. And BJ was bent, so that was it. It was just you guys showed me no respect, and that was that. So
Wow.
basically so him and I went straight to the practice pad afterward, grabbed our shit, and got the hell out, and that was that. So yeah, it was a kind of an abrupt deal, but
You started to get some notoriety a little bit.
yeah,
Um, Played quite a few shows from what I remember.
it seemed like we were playing at least once a month, if not every 3 weeks. It seemed like we were somewhere on some stage.
Yeah, I think I saw you once or twice. I came over. I saw
I
you
know
at
just Lake
El
Point.
Corazon. El Corazon. I saw you.
Did you see us there too?
Yeah, that's when he handed me the mic and I sang
That's right. So yeah, you played you saw us at El Corazon, at Lake Point, and
a
over in
bar in
Port
Lake.
Angeles.
Did I go to Port Angeles?
Yeah, you and Christina came over there one night.
Huh. I
I
don't
think
know.
you saw us. I think you saw that it was the back to back nights. I think you followed us over there like a bunch of groupies.
Oh,
Or only two.
yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So I saw you 3 times. I wish BJ would have been a fun podcast to have.
Oh
He would have been
yeah,
awesome.
Jesus, this would have been like week long.
I know that would have been a series. He writes.
Yeah.
He probably has more lyrics in one song than we do in this whole hour and a half podcast so far.
Yep. So it was an ongoing joke too. Like BJ, put the pencil down.
I know.
You don't need. It doesn't need to be a novel.
Opposite of when I wrote lyrics, as minimalist as possible. You get through a
Shocker.
couple of get it through a couple of verses, and choruses will be the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have that much to say to people. Just not that
and here,
interesting.
and here you are doing a podcast.
I know. Well, other people are talking about themselves, not me. Derek said he wants to do one. He wants to interview me, so I'll decide if I want to do that. But when you and Glenn and I, we'll tell all of our stories. It'll be interesting to see how Glenn views things.
Yeah.
I've never really talked to him about it. I don't think ever. Because he was adopted. He was the oldest. He was adopted, so his viewpoint on things may be way different than mine and yours.
Mm-hmm.
Also, something interesting when I was talking to Dad. I think I brought it up to Glenn, but did you view Dad as like not ever being able to hold down a job or anything like that, or he just seemed like he's always working and never had trouble? According to him, the way his dad viewed him as he was kind of I wouldn't, maybe not a screw up, but never was able to hold down a job for too long and didn't have a career until he found out that Dad was the boss at one of the kitchen places. He was one of the bosses, and um, Grandpa kind of finally gave him the credit of actually being an adult and being able to
Wow.
provide for the family and stuff. I found
Wow.
that weird because when Dad told me that, I was like, that's like from the parent looking at a kid, that's the viewpoint, but the kid looking at the parent, it's totally like
Yeah.
you don't
Totally
see that
different.
at all. He was
Yeah.
never not out of work. If he was here building stuff for Grandma
Right.
in between his jobs until he moved us over to the west side, and then he was kind of steady over there. But he was always gone. He was never, I mean, not gone like absent, but always every day he was off to work. It's not like I don't ever remember. It was an odd day when he was home because he didn't call in sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
just that viewpoint kind of really shocked me when he told me that. It was kind of strange.
Yeah. Never
Um,
heard that either.
yeah, but it'll be interesting to talk to Glenn how he viewed childhood compared to you and I, and if he felt that he was, treated like not the twin, or if he even noticed that you and I always had kind of had similar things, and he would have his own thing.
Right.
That'd be interesting to hear about, or interested to hear what he has to say about that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you want to do a two-parter? Do you want to get into your current project? It's an hour and a half right now.
That's fine. Or we can chop it in two. I mean, we could just
Okay.
continue on. Yeah.
It's at 3:30. So after IROT, you didn't have any other project on the west side, did you?
I was working a little bit with Rachel Bromwich's brother. I'm drawing a blank. Ben.
Okay, that Incubus sounding thing, or he wanted to sound kind of like Incubus.
Maybe. I don't know what. I don't even know which way to sound, but it was basically the songs that I came up with on my own were the basis of the music for it, and then BJ was actually singing versus screaming.
Oh, yeah,
And
BJ was a part of that. That's right.
Yeah, so we got together a few times at BJ's house to record. I think we had a few recordings of us kind of open air. That's when the iPhone first came out, and you can actually record a 4-track recorder on the phone.
GarageBand or something.
Yeah, even before GarageBand, but I was kind of making it, kind of think it would be funny if we can be the first band to actually record a whole album on the iPhone.
On a phone.
That sound great.
Yeah.
Back with the 3G. So that was that was my last music project when I was over there.
But nothing that ever really formed or played shows or anything like that.
No, we didn't make it out of the basement on that one. Actually, no, that's not right. That's not true. After BJ passed, I got back together for one more show for a tribute show
with his son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got together, and then from that point, after that show, then Jeremy got a hold of me, and we joined his band called The Basement.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, you heard one of our recordings, but that lasted for 2 shows, and it was obviously that wasn't something I was going anywhere. We went through 2 drummers and
2 drummers and 2 shows.
Yeah, pretty much. It's two different things. Actually, no, the same drummer played both shows.
Oh.
Then we got a new drummer, and then that just one day I basically came to practice, grabbed my shit, and left. I just tired of it.
Yeah.
I just wasn't going anywhere. I was like, all right, I'm driving an hour each direction just to make it to practice, and sometimes getting to wait for an hour for another person to show up, and I was like, oh, come on. So
when did you move this direction?
I moved over full time. I moved over in 2019. Aaron moved over here in 2017. Yeah.
So you were doing part time, and she was over here full time for 2 years.
Yeah, I was for a while. I was over here just on the weekends and had my Seattle practice going.
Yeah,
and I just come over here on the weekends and then go back and
with
forth.
Ryan.
Yeah.
And so after you moved over here, you started playing. How long after you moved over did you start that? What was the other band's name?
The other band was named what was it? 10 Penny Symphony. I think
Jesus
we call
Christ,
ourselves.
I don't remember that either.
Because we played a whole show.
Yeah.
We played a
that was
COVID.
COVID right before.
That was prior. Yeah. So we had like did we have a 2.5 hour, maybe 3 hour set at that point, just doing all covers?
That was a cover band. That's right.
Yeah. So that's where I met. So during that, I was playing with Ryan, who was my office mate, another massage therapist in town.
Yeah.
He's the one that invited me to try out for that band. And it was the first time I got to play actually guitar in a band versus playing bass.
He was in that band, or he just knew the band and invited you?
Yeah, he was in the band. He's the singer of that band still.
Oh, okay.
They're called Ashley at this point, but they're same band, same 2 guys.
Ask Ashley or Ashley?
Ashley. Ask Ashley.
Ask Ashley. Okay.
Yeah. They're
still doing covers.
Yep. Some of the same songs. They changed. They're not as heavy as we were when we were doing it. We were doing like more of the late 90s, 2000s radio metal kind of stuff, radio rock.
Yeah.
So they're doing a lot more mellow stuff. They're doing some Ben Harper and I can't think of the other names right off the top of my head, but they're doing some more mellow stuff with a little rock thrown in there now.
So I was done with Hooligans by the time that started, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're asking if you could. When we were looking for a guitar player, you asked if they would consider you to play.
Yeah.
Which I don't think they ever went back to. We never went back to 2 guitar players. There's just one.
Okay.
Let's have to split that check up if there's another member. Because I was with them for 6.5 years, almost 7 years.
Yeah.
So like right after I stopped, and you started playing again.
Okay.
So you have the one show. There's the barbecue, right? Like that little barbecue or whatever.
So we had one show, and then pretty much COVID hit. That was in the summer. Then we kept on practicing, also, and then COVID hit. And of course, we stopped doing everything until months later. And then we got together 1 or 2 times, and it kind of like the chemistry wasn't quite there anymore.
Was it all the same members the whole time? Both times?
Yeah. For when we broke up and we got back together. So basically, I reached out to our bass player, which is Kevin. I wanted to know if he wanted to do something with me on the sides, do something heavy. So we tried getting together a few times, and that didn't get any traction at all.
Yeah.
And then he came across an ad for another guy that was in Chelan that already had an album out that was looking for musicians to play And so he got together with him and jammed a few times on drums. Because he's
Your bass player is the drummer
right.
for your band.
Yeah. So yeah, Kevin's equally as good at guitar, bass, and guitars. It's
So am I,
drums.
just at a different level.
Right. So yeah, one of the times that we were talking, he's like, hey, I'm gonna shoot you a link really quick and see, of the project, see what you think. So he shouted over to me, and I was listening to it, and I'm like, this sounds doable. It was kind of like wasn't the direction that he and I were going at all.
Yeah, yeah.
It sounded like it was easier music that was easy to grasp, and the parts didn't sound too hard, and
Yeah.
everything was kind of right in the wheelhouse.
A little more listener friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he set up a kind of a trial for me to go over there and learn his stuff. And I think first day, I think I learned one or two of his songs, and then we kept on jamming. And then we, started getting another, I can't remember how we got another drummer, and Kevin just wanted to be a part of this thing. So he's like, I'll play bass. He goes, I don't care what I play. I'm going to be a part of this thing.
So why did you decide to get another drummer if he was drumming?
I don't remember the specifics of why we brought Aaron, which is the other drummer, on. I think he had answered the ad similar to the same time that Kevin answered it, and Kevin got there first. But since Kevin was both first in playing bass and drums, he was like, if he wants to play drums, then I'll jump on bass. And so he did. So we brought him on, and that was a thing for up until our first two shows. And Aaron had he had like two other bands that he was playing like almost every weekend. So there was no chance of us even getting a show. So we're like, if we're going to have to schedule around Aaron, then we're looking at next year before we can even play a show. So we all kind of got together and like, yeah, he's, let's be on the search for another bass player as to come want to jump back on drums. So yeah, we got together and actually did an adult thing and got together. Yeah, this is the stuff. I think it's the first time actually that we actually did this. I was a part of something like this.
Yeah.
But it was funny where we got together, we were just kind of BSing and all this. And Aaron during the whole thing, Aaron saw somebody he's recognized coming to the bar. So he jumps up and he's like, hey, I gotta go ahead and say hi to so-and-so. So he gets up and runs off, and the three of us are looking at each other like, who's going to do it? Who's going to do it? And then Aaron comes back sits down and he goes, so you guys firing me?
He sensed it, and you weren't even talking
he knew
about
exactly. He knew exactly what was going on. Yeah. He's like, this isn't my first rodeo. He goes like, I completely understand. And if you guys need me to fill in for you, then just let me know.
And he was too busy and the availability wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he knew that, that just for us to even want to do anything, it would be put on, not even the back burner, but the back burner.
Is he full-time musician, or is that just what he does and besides his work?
Just something he does on outside of work. He's got a full-time job as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was, he let us down pretty easy.
That's good.
Yeah, so made it real easy for us.
And the name of this band is a Timely Tragedy.
The Timely Tragedy.
The Timely Tragedy.
TTT.
Yeah. It was a little surprising when you showed me the music, because I know you like the heavier stuff.
Yeah.
But you've also always been open to playing whatever.
Right.
Maybe a little more than I have always been. So Matthew Sherrard, is that how you pronounce his last name?
Yeah, Sherrard. Yeah.
He's the kind of the writer or the founder, and it was his music.
Yeah, it was his music to start. The whole thing. So he already had the music written out. So he was cool enough where he wasn't expecting us to play the way he played. He's like, here's a song and play it the way you would play it. And so he was like, whatever came up, whether, any little leads or any kind of fills or anything we wanted to do to kind of make it our own.
Yeah.
That was perfectly fine. So he wasn't kind of like make it stick like this is the song. Here's how you're going to play it.
Your little first experience in trying to play some lead.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like I'm playing more lead in this one than I am playing rhythm. So it's really odd where I'm playing in the higher register and will stay there the entire song. Yeah. It's like, who the hell is this?
I remember you saying, was it this band where you had to, it was a practice or something where you had to do a solo and you told your fingers just didn't work and it sounded like Sounded like Rock Band on when you're not hitting the buttons right or whatever.
Yeah, that was 10 Penny Symphony, where I was learning how to play
Oh
the solo for Red Hot Chili Peppers, Soul to Squeeze, and it just butchered the shit out of it. And I was just freaking embarrassed the whole time, but they didn't care. They're like, that's why
yeah,
we're practicing.
I played lead. I played lead once on a song.
Yeah.
Shed the Silence with Silent Groove.
Okay.
Did my little Eddie Van Halen hammer on thing.
I've been waiting for a time to bring that up.
You haven't figured it out yet? Just do it.
I know.
Do it in a show. Not even. Don't even warn them.
Yeah, do it to the next show. That's the time to pull that
your
up.
biggest one.
Yeah.
Um, does this feel like the most serious, or is it kind of on par with IROT? Do you think?
I think it's on par with IROT, but it seems like we're picking up steam locally a lot faster. There's not a whole lot of original bands that don't play punk here in town, because it's a really big punk town. But so our sound makes us stand out amongst the other ones that, there's only one club to play at Sawalli's, so everybody's fighting for a time to play there. So I think just our sound is making us stand out and getting recognized a little bit, and plus we're a little bit older, quite a bit older than most of the bands playing. But I think that shows that we have a lot more maturity, and getting on and off stage and doing all that stuff is, we're showing that we're not just there to take up space, but we're there to be a part of the scene.
Sounds like a good time to start up a music club in Wenatchee.
No.
Yeah. There's only one option.
Yeah, don't think we're not thinking about it.
Or besides the bigger shows that come through, which you're going to be a part of. What, the 26th? Is that what you said?
The 20th.
The 20th?
Yeah, not this weekend, but the weekend after.
Yeah.
Or not next weekend, the weekend after that.
You're gonna have to hopefully see if you can pull some strings for me to get in there.
Yeah, we'll see. We haven't heard quite yet, but if there's a list of places, but I did see that there was seating available for you and all that. So
yeah,
at least have that.
I think I looked on what's the band that you're playing with? Brass.
What? Brass Against.
Brass. Oh yeah, Brass Against.
Yeah.
I looked up their YouTube, and they have like 120-something thousand followers on YouTube or something like that.
Yeah, they've been around, and they've been on some big stages, so they've done some stuff. They jump around member wise, I guess. It doesn't sound like they're just the same members all the time, but the band itself has been on some pretty big stages.
And I don't know if the singer that you and I had the discussion with before about if she's still a part of it, but she was on The Voice. I think she got like 7th place on one of the seasons of The Voice or something like that.
Okay.
So
I don't know if
still.
Yeah, I don't know if she's. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know who's singing and all that kind of stuff for the band, but
I guess it'd be easier. A Google search would answer that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting. That could be a pretty big show. You actually get to play towards the auditorium instead of your back to it.
Yeah. So when we were there last time, we were playing with our back towards the auditorium, but they turned the entire stage was the club. So it was like basically they built a little high rise for us and for the bands, and then all the people gathered around there. But now that we're turning around the other side, there's it's like a 500 seat auditorium, which if there's even half of that there, we're already looking at one of my biggest shows.
Yeah. What is your biggest show? What's the biggest show you've played?
The biggest one was when Ira opened for Fintrol.
I thought Possessed was
no, Possessed was pretty small.
Oh, really? I thought they were.
Yeah.
How many people do you think were there?
Maybe 100.
No, at the Ventral.
Oh, at Fintrol? I think we had heard something about it was at capacity at Studio 7. So whatever that place held, it was either 250 or 300 people. So yeah, we were I think that we were one of 5 bands playing that night, and it seemed like it was the biggest show that BJ's ever played too, because he turned around when I was trying to figure out how to blow up my bass amp by plugging it into the wrong amp or wrong outlet for the European stuff. I looked at his eyes, and his eyes are like big as saucers. Like, I've never seen this many people looking back at me before. I thought he had played big shows before, but he was like, he had to kind of compose himself a little bit before we got out there.
Yeah.
And then once we got out, it was just our normal chaos crap that we played. So it was fun, and it got us onto a podcast for Bone Bat. That guy Steve Holtz was in the crowd, and he did a write up on us, and he came to a few of our shows, and we were on his 13th episode or something like that. We're the first band that he got to have in his or on his podcast live. So
Cool.
that was kind of cool. Yeah, and that thing's still going on too. So
Oh, wow.
he's still going strong.
I think the biggest one we played, the Hometown Hooligans, which you can't really say it wasn't because we were there. It was the Waterville Fair time during the track. No, was it the fair? No, it was 4th of July tractor pull. But I remember counting because there's a grandstand up there. We were playing out on a semi flatbed out in the middle of the like the rodeo arena, and then there's the track that they're doing the tractor pull on the actual grandstands. And I was just kind of piecing together, like counting hundreds at a time. And I think I got up to around 750 or so, 750, 800 people, something like that. But obviously not there just for us. But I mean, that's a lot of people to play in from. It didn't seem like it because they're so far away.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we were just counting, I was like, piecing, okay, there's about 100. Let's do 10, 10, 10 to get about 100. But the whole thing is kind of not full, but probably 3/4 full.
Wow.
So that was kind of fun. But yeah, that was definitely the most traction I ever got with a band was Hooligans. We played quite a bit.
Yeah, you guys are playing all the time.
Yeah, we had one weekend. It was October, where we played. So Friday night we played in Odessa for a show. Then Saturday morning we played down in Grand Coulee in the morning. Then Saturday night we played down at Sun Lakes. Then Sunday morning we went back to Odessa and played the Sunday show. So each of us made $1,000 that one weekend. It was like each member was like, "Oh, let's just do this full time. That'd be fine."
Right.
There's no problem there at all.
Yeah, what's the problem?
That was probably the busy point for that band was that summer. I think for that summer, I think we only had 2 weekends off.
Wow.
But that's when we were playing. They ended up not stop playing after I quit, and they went on for a while.
So that long weekend that you did, were those all like 2, 3, 4 hour shows?
No, the Odessa shows were, I want to say 45 minutes to an hour each, but they still paid us $500 for the half hour for the 45 minutes. Grand Coulee show in the morning, I believe, was 2 or 3 hours, and the one at that night was 4 hours. Then going back on Sunday for the following show was another 45 minute to an hour set. But yeah, so we had the 4 members, and each show paid. Well, how did we make $1,000? Maybe we played twice on that Sunday. I can't remember, but yeah, each of us walked away with $1,000. It was like, holy crap. It's better than the $100 we usually get thrown at us for a weekend.
Yeah.
When we actually started getting paid, that was new to me, even getting paid. When we were in our 20s playing those shows, there's no money being thrown around.
There's not a whole lot of money being thrown out for us right now. So it's we're still good for fun.
You got to work up to it. That's what we were talking about when you told us the total that you made for that 4-hour or 8-hour round trip to Bremerton or whatever. Yeah, that's fun when you're 20, but
right,
you're 52. Little the luster gets knocked off that adventure. So what? You guys have had this kind of ongoing saga of getting an album recorded with all the members.
Yeah.
Where does that stand right now?
So where it stands right now, from my understanding of it, is we've got 2 songs complete, which has taken us about 2 years to do. I thought my version of it was we're going to record all the songs we've been doing and then move on to the new one. But it sounds like everybody's excited about getting on just to writing, so we may or may not actually get these old songs we've been recording.
Just new stuff about you guys writing together.
Yes, we're starting the writing stage right now of for all the new stuff. So we've got
personally, I think that's a better idea.
Yeah. I just think that there should be some sort of record of songs that we all did together, and then move on to the new stuff. You know, we might get around to recording some of them.
Well, if these are the ones that you guys are actually writing and having input in and like putting together as a band, I think it makes sense. But
the stuff we're playing, the old stuff we're playing compared to the original CD, to me, don't sound alike at all. So we put our own flavor onto it. But what we might do is we got equipment now where we can record everybody live into their own track onto a flash drive. And then after practice or after that, we can just record everything live. Then if it was a good enough take, we can then go back and then bump everybody's mixes up. And it's as if we were playing like we did with Within, and just do a live version of all these songs. And then we can get those down really, really quick. Cause
Yeah, post. Yeah.
yeah, so we can, so I mean, we know the songs well enough. We could probably knock them out in a take or two and call it good.
So when they're recorded on the different tracks, is there any bleed over at all, or is it all soloed out?
The only bleed through would be maybe vocals and drums. Other than that, everything's direct line straight into the mixer, and
So if it wasn't the cleanest take, you could fix it post. You
yeah,
think?
yep,
Yeah, good.
yeah.
That makes it easier.
Yeah, technology now is made it much easier for all that kind of stuff to happen. So we don't have to rent out or wait for a studio to bring us in and all that kind of stuff. We can just do it on our own now.
Yeah. Does the stuff that you're writing now sound similar to is he still the main driving force behind the writing, or is it kind of evened out?
This is going to be even out. So we've got two songs done so far. One was written for the most part, by Kevin, and one was written by Matt. And there's a song that I have in that's ready to go, and a song that Nat has that's ready to go as well. So we're gonna have
You have a song completely written?
yeah.
No?
So we're gonna, I think, probably once this next show's done and there's nothing on the horizon, my hunch is by the time we start playing shows again next year, that we'll have a whole new set. Well, at least 8 new songs, and those will probably happen rapid fire, probably before the end of the year.
So have the songs that you individually have written, have they been approved? Kind of, have you ran it by the other members already?
Yeah. Well, one of them we played without Kevin because he wasn't there that day, but we were just kind of piecing together those, and it's not like the other two guys were on board, and Kevin's pretty open to way more than I am even of new styles and new things. And this song, I mean, you've heard it before when I showed you and Glenn way back years ago. That kind of kept that going. So we're gonna kind of work on that one and see if we can make it sound like mine, but how the band would play it as well. Because there's only ever been one guitar, so I don't. So the other stuff hasn't even been written yet.
So you're just everything's recorded in house with you guys. You're not hiring anybody.
Yeah, from this point on, yeah, we just.
It sounds just as good.
Yeah, yeah. It's that those guys know, Kevin and Matt just know how to mix things down and how to balance things out, and then once we get it, once we get it to the point of releasing it, then we send it off to a friend of our new bass player, Nat. It's a guy named Max in Texas, I believe, that he masters it in like a day or two and sends it back, and we're good to go. So yeah, so
It makes me want to get into writing some music and laying some stuff down. Haven't done that in who knows how long. Well, you and I, that's the last time I did anything.
yeah, we did the covers.
We did our two song project.
Yeah.
With my old equipment. That's probably 95% of the reason that I didn't try to record, because I don't know the new program or any of the new stuff that I got during COVID that I went out and bought. The new Cubase I don't understand, because it's completely different than the old one. I don't use the drum machine because it's not compatible. So I got this other thing called Tune Track or whatever. That's just a simulator, but it sounds really good. Probably better than any drum machine that I've ever heard. And you can do any kind of drums that you want. You can do their stock stuff, or you can like program it yourself. But I haven't messed with it. It's on the computer. I haven't messed around with it too much at all. So, and I don't know how to import it once you record it or what you do. I don't know how to import it to the track. So I got to watch a whole.
You gotta figure that stuff out.
Go to school again on how to do any of that kind of stuff. So I use my other recording equipment for just basically like a 4-track.
Yeah.
It was just, didn't even use a click track to it. It's just like, so Derek really enjoyed trying to collaborate with me, trying to line it up to a grid, and it didn't line up at all. So,
yeah.
So I think we'll wrap this one up. I don't know if we may revisit me and you again. I'm not sure, but we're definitely going to do one with probably you and Adam and I, probably you and Glenn and I.
Be fun.
Yeah, once I get some more people down. So, well, cool. Thanks for taking some time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We're at 2 hours and 2 hours and 4 minutes.
Jesus.
It'll probably be condensed down once it does its magic to like an hour and 45 or so.
Okay.
But all right, thanks for hopping on here.
Absolutely.
All
Thanks for
right, we'll
having me.
talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.